Hey, nice to see that most of you came back to the channel in spite of my upload schedule. Or if you've never met me before, then my name is The Bread Pirate, and it is nice to make your acquaintance. Anyways, I don't really have a transition here, so I'm going to ask a question. Have you ever looked at a Korok and thought to yourself, man, I could probably eat that? Hey, I'm just saying, hypothetically, purely hypothetically, could you have Koroks for dinner? Now, this whole hypothetical question started after I bumped into a little bit of dialogue in the game from this single little Korok known as Pep, the innkeeper. If you catch this poor fellow while he's snoozing in Breath of the Wild, he will have dialogue that gives us some insight into the issue.
No, vegetarians everywhere. Stop, that's my face.
Now, obviously this is a dream, so we can't take everything here at face value. Oh, that was a stupid joke. But even though this is a nightmare, it still shows us that Koroks are afraid of vegetarians in the same way that we humans would be afraid of, I don't know, a zombie. And why would they be afraid of vegetarians unless they assumed that they themselves could be eaten by them? Now, a counterpoint to this would be that Koroks don't care about vegetarians because they are fine with selling other fruits or veggies at their supermarkets. But to me, this simply indicates that Koroks don't care if you eat other plants. One shopkeeper even mentions that their mushrooms are delicious, which indicates that they have tried them before. And in the Wind Waker, there's a potion shopkeeper named Holo who explains, I make potions from the fruits of the forest. I wish I could create a potion that would help you, swordsman, but the ones I have here only seem to work on my fellow Koroks. So we can conclude that Koroks do in fact eat other plants in the same way that humans eat other animals. But wow, that is a tangent. The main takeaway is simply that Koroks don't care if you eat other plants, but they do have a concern about being eaten themselves, which means that they think they themselves can be eaten. Oh, hey Link, what's that you have in your hand there? Oh yeah, it's like a leaf or something, isn't it? Looks kind of tasty. And also, strangely familiar. What do you think, Oki? It just looks so juicy, so succulent. I could just chomp into that thing right now. So crunchy, I love leaves. Korok fronds are leaves that you can find in Tears of the Kingdom by chopping trees down, and are a low-tier ingredient that could be used in plenty of dishes or just eaten raw. Not only do these fronds bear a resemblance to one of the Korok faces in the game, this fellow right here, but the item also has some suspicious dialogue that might indicate that Korok fronds are made of Korok, a mysterious leaf that looks like it might be hiding something behind it. It has some medicinal value. Is this just a tongue-in-cheek reference to the way that Koroks like to hide, or does this prove that fronds are infant Koroks before they are fully formed? Or maybe if we want to be less dark about this, maybe Korok fronds are just unused Korok leaves that haven't been turned into a face yet. Obviously, we're starting to veer into speculation, but it is clear that fronds are made of a similar material to what Koroks use for their faces. And if one is edible, then it's very likely that the other one is as well. So that's all the evidence we have about the face of the Korok. But what about the body behind the face? Is that edible as well? Korok bodies do bear somewhat of a resemblance to roots, and it's also true that Koroks like to hide in the ground. So a connection could be drawn between Koroks and other root vegetables like carrots, rutabagas, onions, or turnips. But Pep, the innkeeping Korok from earlier, can actually give us some insight into whether this is true or not. If we talk to Pep for the very first time at his inn, he will say,
I've been waiting for so long. I thought I might start to put down roots.
Key in on the word start. This shows that Koroks don't start off by having roots. Instead, they probably have a wooden body and then have roots sprout off from that later on if they decide to be a tree or something. I don't know.
Now why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Of course, things being made of wood has never stopped Link from eating them before. The man can eat raw wood and rocks as long as you put them on a stove for 7 seconds. But as for normal people, the Korok body cannot be eaten. And if you need any more evidence that the body is made of wood and not something edible, then just look at Hestu. He has branches on his head. That means it's a stick, it's wood, it's not edible, you can't eat that. Case closed. Whoa. Slow down, Link. Even though Korok faces are probably edible, that doesn't mean most people can eat them. Well, you see, despite having the largest population in modern Hyrule with over 1,000 Koroks appearing in Tears of the Kingdom, the vast majority of Hylians, Rito, Zora, and the like cannot even see them. That is because Koroks are forest spirits and have a magic barrier of invisibility over them that prevents non-forest dwellers from seeing them. In fact, there are only 2 characters in all of modern-day Hyrule who have the ability to see Koroks. Yourself, Link, and a random traveler named Agus. Agus? Agus. I prefer Agus. We'll call him Agus. He mentions that he's able to see Hestu from a distance, though, so he never sees Hestu up close. The only other people who demonstrate an ability to see Koroks are either in Age of Calamity 100 years ago, or they're monsters. And you're not a monster, and I'm not a monster, so that doesn't apply here. So very few people, would ever be able to eat a Korok or even see one. Well, Link, even though you can eat a Korok, you shouldn't. I mean, think about it, Link. Korok fronds only give you 1/4 of a heart when eaten raw, or half a heart when cooked, meaning that they're one of the worst food items in the game and probably taste something like spinach. My guess is that the face would taste just as bad, so it's a really mediocre food option. Okay, even so, Koroks are human-like creatures. You can't go around killing that. Okay, fair. They are just plants. But just because someone is a part of a different species, that doesn't give you a right to eat them. For example, Tulin would probably taste awesome as a bowl of Tabantha fried chicken. But for fairly obvious reasons, that would be considered completely morally bankrupt. Tulin is a bird. He's not human. Yet, because he has human-like characteristics such as self-awareness, we all understand that he deserves a right not to be harmed. Not to mention, he's also the best companion in the game. Exactly! Best companion by far. Good job, Tulin. But that's aside from the point. The thing that matters here is that we don't eat the Rito because they're human-like, and the Koroks are human-like too, so they deserve to not be eaten. No salad. Koroks are technically edible, but they are friends, not food. Come on, cheer up, Link. Sure, you can't eat Koroks, but at least you can eat Korok seeds. And that is the answer to whether or not you can eat a Korok. But before you go, this is a weird request. Could I ask for your help with ripping off YouTube? This will sound strange, but hear me out. For years, YouTube has been struggling to get this thing off the ground that they call channel memberships. It's like Patreon, but for YouTube. And their latest scheme to encourage people to join has been straight up bribery. And I know this is true because they sent me this notification last month, which basically says,
Mio amico, Bread Pirate, why don't I make you an offer? If you start up a membership program, we'll give you, $500, and if you get 30 people to join, then we'll make it around $1,000. Capiche?
Now, I am a 22-year-old with $40,000 of college loans, so I can't really afford to ignore $1,000. But what I can do is rip them off. See, YouTube only says that I need to wrangle in 30 members. They don't say how long these people need to be members for or how much they need to pay. I think we all know where this is going. You can literally just have 30 people donate 99 cents for a single month. And boom, $1,000. And YouTube would never see that money again. Cue evil laughter. If you want to help, and you don't need to, you really don't need to, but if you want to, then there will be a button near the bottom of the screen which says join. Don't steal your mom's credit card for this. Then just select the cheapest tier. As soon as we reach at least 30 members, I'll leave a pinned comment that lets everybody know we already hit our goal. That way nobody has to waste their money. And then as soon as YouTube acknowledges that we have 30 members, I'll get rid of the 99 cent rule so that nobody has to be charged more than 1 month. Of course, if anybody does want to stick around to get a long-term membership, which I don't expect very many people to do, then I'll have a separate role for that, and that'll come with a few benefits, such as a director's commentary on all my new videos, and an investors meeting video where I answer questions and treat you guys like shareholders in a YouTube business. Anyways, that's everything I have to say, so until I see you next time, don't eat Koroks, and have fun storming the castle.